Testing. Let's see here. There we go. Hey, folks, we'll get going in just a minute. Hopefully you can all hear me. If someone's in, can you please hit the chat and let me know if you can hear me okay? All right. Thank you, Zoe. We'll give everybody just another minute to get on here, and then we'll get started. All right, folks. I always like to get started on time, so we're going to get started. I'll just do a couple of overview things for those of you that joined on time and early, and then we'll go into some of the details and get into a little bit more specifics. But this is our 6th Moonrise Bike Ride. I can't believe it. When we first started this thing, the first year, I think we had about 30 people come out, and we didn't have any food provided, anything like that. It was just a group. We went out to Pomona Lake State Park. We did have some music and just camped out, and everybody kind of provided their own food, provided all their own things. And then we rode back the next day. And as part of that, we sort of got the idea that we could make this into a little bit bigger thing. A lot of people said, hey, we'd love to have some food, and we'd love to see this thing grow. And so now in our 6th year, we completely sold out the event. We have 250 people signed up. We are going to leave it open just because I know there's a few people that might be on this video that are just getting the details, learning more about it, and they might decide to sign up. So we are going to leave the registration open until midnight tonight, and then we're going to shut it down. That's really, our goal isn't to grow this thing as big as possible. Our goal is to make it the best experience possible for people that do participate. So we're going to cap it at around where we are and leave it at that. The other thing that this thing is become is a little bit of a logistical puzzle that we have to put together every year, just because of the way it's laid out. So the first thing I want to do is kind of give you a high level overview of what the event is and talk about some of the terms, because if you're new to this event, which many of you are, the fact that we have 250 riders tells me that many of you, this is your first time. So I want to just give you a little bit of overview, and then we'll go into the specifics. And we also want to make sure we have time at the end to answer any questions that you have. So if you have any questions as we go through, put them in the comments over here, and I'll try to keep an eye on them and either answer them as we go or at the end. So if you have any questions, please let us know. That's the main purpose of this, is to give you get all your questions answered. So first, in terms of overview, the event, I'll just give you a high-level overview of the weekend. So we have it's a music, food, and bike festival, or music, food, and bike packing festival, I should say. And all three of those things are featured heavily, and we've put a lot of time and effort in to make sure all three of those things get covered in this weekend. It started off as a one-night event, so we had what we call our main event is a one-night event, and then we have what's called our campfire event, which is a two-night event. So the main event starts in Ottawa. We ride to Pomona Lake State Park. So that's on Saturday. It starts in Ottawa on Saturday. We all ride as a group out to Pomona Lake State Park, where we set up in a camping area there, which I'll talk about in a little more specifics. We once everybody gets there, they set up their tents. We enjoy music, which we have 3 bands lined up this year. I'll go through that in a minute. We have a really fantastic dinner, and we're doing prime rib this year, as every year we do with Angry River Barbecue. So they make it a fantastic dinner that we can enjoy while we're listening to the music. And then we also last year added a cheesecake bar, which everyone can enjoy as well. And that was a huge hit last year. So we're going to do that again as well. And then after all of that is over, well, all 3 of the bands have played and we're all fed and everybody's relaxed. Then we take a little bike ride around Pomona Lake State Park and enjoy the beautiful environment there. And that's don't overlook that. That's a special part of the evening. Just seeing all of those people with their bikes lit up in the complete darkness, riding through the hilly area around the park is just always, for me, one of the highlights of the weekend. So after that, we camp out, and then in the morning we get up and we have a catered breakfast. Flint Hills Catering, our friends at Flint Hills Catering are doing that. And then and coffee as well. And then everybody rides back to Ottawa. So that's the main event. So of the 250 people we have registered, 200 of you, that's the weekend. The other part of the weekend is what we call our campfire event. We added this several years ago just to kind of make it a bit more of a broad 2-night experience. And that starts in Council Grove on Friday. So Friday afternoon, we hang out at the Riverbank Brewing in Council Grove. We ride Friday afternoon, I should say, to Base Camp Flint Hills in Allen, which is a small camping area that our friends run. And that is Friday. We get there Friday at about 5, and then we have music there as well. We have 2 bands this year, which I'll tell you about. And then we have dinner again by Flint Hills Catering. They do a fantastic job. And then that evening we camp out. Next morning we have breakfast as well. And we ride from Allen to Pomona Lake State Park, where we join in with the rest of the riders and have the main event. So we've got riders coming from both ends of the trail with the main event culminating at Pomona Lake State Park. And then on Sunday morning, those folks that are participating in that event will also ride to Ottawa and finish up there. So that's new for this year. We've decided to make it a one-way event for those folks just because of the logistics of trying to support everybody going back was too difficult. So this year they're all going to end up in Ottawa. So all 250 riders will end up in Ottawa on Saturday morning and make their way back to wherever they're going. So I guess to summarize then, the main event, if you start in Ottawa, ride to Pomona and back to Ottawa, that's a round trip. If you are doing the campfire, you start in Council Grove, go to Pomona, and then end up in Ottawa, and that's a one-way trip. So those 50 riders will come this way. I should point out also, though, on our main event, we do also have riders that will start in Council Grove on Saturday. So a smaller group, smaller number of folks, but for people that live in that part of the state, that's really, we wanted to add that option. So those folks will start Saturday morning, ride around 50 miles to Pomona Lake State Park as well, and join us as well. So some of you on this call probably are part of that smaller group, and you'll ride to Pomona on Saturday. So that's the other option. So hopefully that makes sense. If you signed up, you're in one of those groups, and you can read more about that in the rider's guide, which I'll talk about. So that's the other thing I want to point out. So before we get into more of the details, there is all of this information available on our website. So if you go to moonrisebikeRide.com, you'll find the event page. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the event page, there's a couple of different links there. One is to the rider's guide. And the rider's guide has everything spelled out in a lot of detail. So if you have any questions, it's probably answered in there. That rider's guide also contains the routes. So if you are one of these people that wants to have the route on your device, either your Ride with GPS, Wahoo, Garmin, whatever device you're using, you should be able to figure out how to get that route on your device. And so all of that is in the rider's guide. We'll go through a couple of the key points in the rider's guide that I want to emphasize here, but that is your reference page. You can find it all there. There's also a weekend schedule there. So all of those logistics that I went through are detailed in quite a bit of detail on the weekend schedule. And keep in mind, we may make slight adjustments both to the rider's guide and to the weekend schedule. So you might you might check that if there's something in there that you're really concerned about. You might check that next week. We probably won't change it after that, but we're still going through it just to finalize some of the details. So with that, I will go through some of the key components in the rider's guide. Any questions? If for those of you that just joined us, feel free to put your questions into the chat there, and I'll try to answer them. Okay. So, and the other thing I should point out, we do have a shuttle service that we offered as part of this whole thing for people that are doing the campfire event. So we will be taking 10 people from Ottawa to Council Grove to start the event on Friday. And then those people will ride back to Ottawa, and presumably their cars will be here, and they'll drive away. And then on Sunday, when everybody arrives back, we will take 10 people the other way as well. So if you're one of those folks and you're part of that shuttle, don't worry. We're going to send you an email with all of the details about what time we're leaving, what time we're picking up, and all of that. So unfortunately, that's all we have room for is 10 people and 10 bikes. So the rest of you, if you're needing that transportation, hopefully you understand that you have to provide that yourself and make your own arrangements. So hopefully that's clear to everybody. We try to make that as clear as possible. But all right, so that's the overview. I've gone through kind of the weekend, how it's all laid out. So let me go through some specifics and things that we commonly get asked. So the first is check-in. So when you, depending on which event you are going to do, if you're doing campfire, you'll check in at Council Grove. If you're doing the main event, you'll check in either here at Ottawa or at Council Grove if you're part of that group that's starting on Saturday in Council Grove. All of those check-in times are outlined in the rider's guide. So you'll see exactly when it is. It's a window in all cases. So just be sure you arrive, check in, and let us know you're here. We'll, it's very important that we know if you're here, you're part of the event. That way we can kind of keep track of you over the weekend and make sure everybody's safe and where they need to be. So that's the first thing. Just make sure you check in. Now, in the unlikely circumstance, or if you have any kind of issue and you arrived late, or you can't make it during the window, ride out to the event at the lake, and we will check in there. Or likewise at Base Camp Allen, check in with us when you arrive. So it's not uncommon that we have a few people that work or have trouble getting here when the group leaves and they arrive a little late. No problem at all. You can check in with us when you get to the lake. We just want to know you're here, you made it, all of that. So that's first thing. Next thing, ride start time. So as well on those at the end of the check-in window, really on each of those starting points, we will do a group start. And last year it was extremely hot. Those of you that survived last year in August, and you'll know that everybody kind of left at different times because people just wanted to get on the road or get there as quickly as possible. So we were kind of strung out. This year, especially with the larger group, our hope is that we can all leave together at 3 p.m. on Saturday for the main event. And then we have times for all the other ones as well. But we really want to do a big group start. And then check-in all is during, for the larger group, the main event group is in Ottawa. I should point out there are going to be a lot of things going on in Ottawa. That day, there's going to be some events on Main Street. So we want to encourage everybody to arrive as early as you can on Saturday, hang out in Ottawa, support all these local businesses here that are always supportive of us. And we also have, there's a common consumption law that just passed, and they're doing a celebration on that. So you can actually buy beer at Not Lost or some of the restaurants and take it out on the street. So that's something to look forward to if you're a beer drinker. And so we really want to kind of make this a celebration in Ottawa before we all ride out to Pomona Lake State Park. So when you check those check-in times and, plan your weekend, make sure you show up here early if you can. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is gear transportation. So one thing I want to be real clear on in this event, we really set it up because we want to give everybody a chance to try out bike packing in a easy, sort of non-threatening, just, we want to make it as easy as possible for people to try it out. But at the same time, we want you to be self-sufficient. So the goal is, and we encourage everyone to try to bring as much of their equipment on their bike packing style as possible, especially things you need during the ride. So water and all those other things. We really want to make you, or we really want to encourage you to be as self-sufficient as possible. For example, on a typical group ride or an event, there might be water stops along the way. We do not plan to provide water stops along the way. There are places to get water, and we'll point that out in the map, but we aren't providing any along the way, especially for the main event. It's 20 miles. So we don't plan on doing that. We might have some water stashed at one of the stops along the way. It just kind of depends if how hot it is. But, in that case, we will. But otherwise, there are water stops along the way. You just have to look at the map, know how to do it, know how to get there. And so we'll have that outlined for you. But we want you to the point is we want you to be as self-sufficient as possible. At the same time, we also want to make it as accessible as possible. So we also offer the service to take your gear for you. So if you don't want to load it on your bike, or if you don't want to load all of it on your bike, we'll take it for you. No problem at all. That's part of the deal. And so there are, as part of the check-in, instructions on where to drop your bags. It's essentially you check in and we've got a spot there for you to put your bag. Now, we want to make sure we always every year reiterate, you don't need to take everything with you. It's, be as efficient as possible and as compact as possible. We obviously have to lug all that back and forth. And it's just, the goal is to be as minimalist as possible if you can. But we also understand you've got tents, you've got things that you need. Fine, put it all in one bag. Make sure we can identify whose bag it is, and again, keep it as easy for us to move as possible. If you've ever done Bike Across Kansas or any of those events, you're familiar with kind of what the expectations are. So just try to follow that. We do also encourage, if you want to bring a small cooler, feel free, along with a bag. So we try to keep it to one bag and a small cooler, or a lawn chair if you want to bring a lawn chair. There are places to sit at the camp. We will have picnic tables as well. So you don't necessarily need one, but if you would be more comfortable with one, especially if you've got one of those small camp chairs, feel free to bring that. So all of that we'll handle for you. So the other important thing to remember is, well, I guess it's not as important this year because we're all coming back to Ottawa at the end. Before we had to separate luggage into different piles. This year it'll be a little bit easier, but we'll keep everybody up to date over the weekend to make sure you know how to get your luggage and where to get it and all of that. And that's all outlined in the rider's guide. So if you have any questions about that, check the rider's guide. Also, site maps. So people a lot of time ask us, all right, which camp are we? where do I park my car? We have maps in the rider's guide that outline all of that. So we have parking areas that are available in Council Grove. So if your car is going to be parked in Council Grove, we have spots for you there. We're making arrangements with the city to make sure your cars are okay. There's no, if somebody breaks into your car, that's, there's no guarantee of that, but we have a spot for you. They know it's there. Likewise, in Ottawa, there will be spots where you can park. It's just public parking. We do want to reiterate and make sure everybody understands, do not park in Legacy Square right behind our building. That is clearly spelled out. That is, they often do events in that space and they want cars out of there. And I believe that weekend there, as part of the celebration that's going on in downtown Ottawa, that area will be used for that event. So we don't want you parking there. We don't want you parking on the street, but there are several public parking areas nearby, half a block, that you can park. So just pay attention there and make sure you're aware of, where to park. And if you have any questions when you check in, just let us know. We'll help you out. The next thing is the routes. Those are ride with GPS files and there's links in the rider's guide. So if you ride with us at Ottawa Bike and Trail, you're very familiar with Ride with GPS. We put all of our maps in that tool, and it's got a lot of details and not only just how to get there, but it also has the water stops, the landmarks, and all that kind of stuff. So I often get the question, why can't we, make those available in other formats, Garmin or Strava or whatever? we can, and we can download those to those file types, and we might even put some links in here, but it's not going to have all the detail that we put into the Ride with GPS map. So really the easiest thing to do, well, first of all, just point out you can't get lost. We are riding on a rail trail. If you can get on the trail and go in a straight line, you're going to be fine. You need to know where to turn off to get to the lake, but other than that, you can't really get lost, especially when you're riding with 250 people. So it's not like a normal route where you're going to be constantly making turns and you have to be very careful. It's very simple. So if you've never done it before, don't worry, you're not going to get lost. You're going to ride with a lot of people, and we all kind of get there around the same time. But the routes are available, a lot of detail. If you have any trouble getting it on your device, we'll try to provide some resources to help you with that and make sure that's covered. There are some route notes, and that's the other thing that you have to pay attention for the routes. And that's especially for people on the longer route coming from Council Grove, because there might be some construction going on. We're working with the state park to make sure we understand kind of where that is. So we'll try to get those maps updated if you need to make a little detour there. So at the moment, there's no work going on, but I think there might be some by the time the event happens. So pay attention to that. If you're coming from Ottawa, there is a detour. So if you've never ridden it, I will describe this because just so you understand. The trail has a 3.2 mile detour on a gravel road. Now this detour has been there since the inception of the Flint Hills Trail, but the good news is it's going to be removed. There's a big project, and you'll see it when you ride the route, where they're putting a bridge over the railroad tracks that will replace the detour. So this hopefully will be our last year to do Moonrise Bike Ride and have to ride that detour. So next year it's going to be unbelievable. We'll be able to ride over that bridge, and that'll be fantastic. So we keep that in mind. All of that again is in the route. Any things you need to know about the detours or routes are there. The other thing, and I will point this out for the folks riding from Ottawa to Pomona, it is a 20-mile route. It's flat for the most part and very easy. The detour itself does have a hill. So I know that is sort of a big, people that are new to this, that's the route you're probably going to ride, and it's very beginner friendly. And you can ride at your own pace. We will have a sweeper coming behind at the end to make sure everybody makes it. But if you're concerned about the ride, just make sure you can ride 20 miles and you'll make it. And you can take as much time as you want. If you do need to leave early, feel free to leave early. You don't have to leave with the big group. If you want to leave a little early and have everybody catch up to you, that's fine too. We want to make that as easy as possible so anybody can do it. We've got kids that are going to do it. We've got families that are going to do it together. We probably will have people pulling trailers with kids, and it's a family friendly, easy route. So don't worry too much about it. Just make sure you can do it. And also keep in mind, at halfway point in Pomona, there is a little restroom area and a picnic table. That also, there's half-mile away is a Casey's. So if you do feel like you need anything, or if you need to stop, or maybe you're having mechanical problems, you can get help at that. You can go up to the Casey's and have access to a phone and whatever else you need. So that Casey's at Pomona is halfway in between. That is outlined in the map. I just want everybody to know that's there. So if you do happen to need any help, of course, anybody on the route is going to help you as well. And that's true of all the events. This group is extremely helpful. If someone has an issue, I guarantee you someone will stop and help you. And you'll probably have 20 people stop and help you. So don't worry. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. And I guess while I'm thinking about it, I want to point out one other thing on this event that I think is fascinating. This event has so many people that show up by themselves. They don't know anybody. They are new. This is their first time to do it. Every year, I'm amazed at the people that do that. And I guarantee you, those people leave with a bunch of friends. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of with this event, is how many people come and just end up having so many friends, leaving with so many friends, and they come back year after year, and their friend group grows. So if you're looking for a way to get involved with an unbelievable community, the bikepacking community, and not just this event, there's other bikepacking events around, but come, enjoy. Don't worry about it if you're by yourself. You are going to have so many friends before you leave, and you're going to have so much fun. And that's part of my goal with this, is to get everybody in the state and from the surrounding areas to know these people, know familiar faces, come to the next event. There's other events you can go to. You'll start to form a friend group. And we've seen that so many times. In fact, for me as well, I know so many, this is a great way to meet so many people. And that's part of the thing that we're proud of. The other thing I'll point out while I'm thinking about it that I'm proud of is this event. We have 53% female registration and 47% male. And I don't know of any other cycling event that has that ratio of men to women, and I'm super proud of that. And this year it's the highest number of swaying towards female that we've had. So it's great news. I think that's fantastic. Okay, so I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I wanted to make sure I stated those points. So I'm just flipping through to see if there's anything else. I don't think there's any main points. There are some frequently asked questions that I wanted to go through. If you don't have any questions, but I want to open it up now. If you do have questions, hit them in the comments and I will answer them. Brett Smith said, first year for me, riding the whole weekend, looking forward to it. Thanks, Brett, for joining us. I guarantee you're going to have a great time. Actually, you know what I should do? I will just quickly touch on the menu. We will be posting detailed menus on the website. I wanted to have those up for today, but I wasn't able to get them all done. So I'll have those over the weekend, and we'll have the menus for you next week. So you can check the website if you have questions. But the menu does include vegetarian options. So when you registered, you indicated whether you needed a vegetarian menu. So we have those numbers, and we will have really good vegetarian options along with the regular meals. So don't worry about that. I'll go through just kind of a highlight. I guess I already covered the prime rib on Saturday is a highlight. The cheesecake bar after dinner is a highlight. We do like a scramble on Sunday morning and fruit and a bunch of healthy things to get you back to Ottawa on Sunday morning. And then also at the campfire, we have Flint Hills Catering does a fantastic steak meal out there. I think we're changing it up this year. Actually, we're going to be doing a chicken meal. And then we have breakfast on Saturday morning by a local group as well. So the food's going to be fantastic. We will get those detailed menus out there. So if you do have any kind of food allergy or concerns about not liking something on the menu, I'm not sure you could probably choose vegetarian or something, but we haven't had many problems with that. Everybody's been able to find, and there's enough food that everybody can find something to eat if you do have particular needs. Somebody asked, Carolyn asked a great question. Is it okay to bring alcohol? Yes, it is. Where we are in the state park, we are allowed to have alcohol. We do not serve alcohol as part of the event. So, but you are able to bring your own. And more importantly, we are very thankful that the marina in Pomona Lake State Park is where the event takes place. We use their stage. They are very gracious in allowing us to use their area there. They do not charge us for this. And they're just happy to have us out there. And so we want to encourage you to support their business and buy beer there. I don't know if they're going to have a beer tent. They may have a beer tent set up next. It's their property, so they can decide whether they're going to do that. But you can walk down to the marina and get beer at their store, and they will stay open late. So that's yeah. I'm glad you asked that question. I should have pointed out, we do provide just basically water and Gatorade for drinks. We'll also have sodas, so those are provided, and then we'll have coffee in the morning. But if you want alcoholic beverages, you can take advantage of that. Oh, Carolyn's saying, I'm thinking of a Cabernet for prime rib. There you go. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Bring wine. If you'd pack wine in your bag, please pad it well, or I don't know, that I'd be a little worried that we might break it. So you might want to put it on your bike if you can, but that's a great idea. Okay. Any other questions? Fire away. One frequently asked question. And again, if you look at the rider's guide, I'll have those frequently asked questions at the bottom of the rider's guide. But one question is, what type of bike should I ride? And my answer is always the one that you have. And for the most part, that is true. I would say if your bike can't make it 20 miles, you might want to consider, that's really the biggest consideration. The rail trail itself does favor larger tires. So I do recommend, ideally, if you have a tire greater than 38 millimeters or 35 millimeters wide, that can handle a crushed limestone trail very well, do that. But if the only bike that you have has road tires on it, I think you'll be fine. You might, have more likelihood of getting a flat or something like that, but you can ride the rail trail on a road bike. It can be done. People do it. It's not a big deal. The other frequently asked question is, are e-bikes allowed? And my answer to that is, not only are they allowed, they're encouraged. We want this to be open to everyone, including e-bike riders. If you ride an e-bike, you are more than welcome to come. We do have charging stations for you. So you'll have to, share the charging. We don't have a million of them, but we have enough, I think, to satisfy the need. And those will be outlined in the map as well. So, feel free to bring your e-bike. If you don't have an e-bike, we sell them. So we'd love to help you out with that. But the e-bikes are great for this event. Yeah, we'll have a lot of them. You won't be alone. Let's see. I thought of another. Okay. One other question that is frequently asked, and keep the questions coming. You're going to hear, I'd rather answer your questions than just ramble. So keep them coming if you have any, or comments or anything. The one question is showers, and it's a state park. It's a lake. They have shower houses. There are several available very near to where we are camping. That'll also be outlined in the map. When we moved to this new location, last year was our first year on this location. The shower house is very nearby. Not a problem finding it. You can ride to another shower house. You can jump in the lake if you want. All those things. So you won't have any trouble taking care of your needs that way. And then, of course, what goes along with that, there's bathrooms. Another question that gets asked is camping. So I should point out, basically, we're taking over a little peninsula that is right by the marina, and there are a bunch of camping spots that are, what you would expect at a state park, where you put your tent down in an individual spot. I will say, with the number of people that we have, you're going to have to double up on some of those spots. There are some fields surrounding our camping area, so some of you might want to camp in a field. We won't have a shortage of space, but just find a good space and make it your home, and meet your neighbors. There are hammock tents as well. So there's plenty of trees, and every year we have people that camp in hammocks. So there's places for that. And the last question I should have talked about is RVs. We do have a lot of folks that travel in large groups, and they bring an RV out so that they have kind of a home base while they're at the camp. That is certainly encouraged and not a problem at all. You just need to make your own reservations with the state park. They are very aware of our event, obviously, and if you let them know that you are with Moonrise Bike Ride, they'll hook you up with a spot. You'll have to pay, of course, but they will hook you up with a spot and get you as close as possible to the event venue. Okay, any other questions? While you're thinking about it, I do want to show you our event poster this year. We put together a cool event poster, and our friends at Draft Horse Studios hand screen printed each one of these. So there's 50 of these posters. We're selling them for $10 a piece just to cover the costs of putting them together. And they are really super cool. They've got our artwork for this year, and I'm very proud of how they came out. And our friends at Draft Horse Studios are great people, and they did such a good job. So if you do want one of these, they are available on our website right now. If you buy one, we will have it ready for you at check-in, or you can pick it up on your way out if you don't want to carry it all weekend. So we'll have those. Also, our event T-shirts. Hopefully you got the message that we were doing a pre-order on those. We have, just due to the timing needed, we cut those off and got the pre-order in for those. And I want to thank all of you that got them. We sold a lot of them. And we did print a few more, not a lot more, but we did print a few more. So if you get to the event and you decide you want a T-shirt, we'll have a few extras until they're gone. And they have the same artwork that from this. So that's all something I wanted to let you know about. Any other? Let me scroll through. Yeah, I don't see any other questions. So I guess at this point, if you don't have any other questions, I'm trying to think. Give me 1 minute just to scan through this and see if I can come up with anything else that I wanted to let you know about. Yeah, there is one other thing. So weather. So you can imagine with an event of this size where we've got food vendors, we've got bands, we've got all of these logistics in place. It's not an event that we can easily cancel and move. And so it's going to happen one way or another. So if there's rain, weather, all of that, be prepared for it. And we're going to ride one way or another. So please, just obviously we got to make sure everybody's safe, and we'll make provisions for that. But you need to be prepared for rain or whatever kind of weather. I'm going to knock on wood and hope after last year that it's going to be cooler. That's why we moved it to September. I'm confident of that. And hopefully we won't have any rain, but you never know. I will say last year was kind of an aberration. The previous years, the weather was fantastic almost every year. And especially, it's in the evening, so it cools down even if it's hot during the day. So you'll enjoy it. The weather's going to be great. So somebody asked, when will the shirts ship? So when we get the shirts, I guess that's a question. We are calling folks that, or emailing folks that indicated they wanted the shirts shipped. Most folks will pick them up at registration. So that was our plan. We're going to have the shirts allocated and ready for you at registration. If you did purchase this shirt and you did not register and you'd like it shipped, we will ship it to you. Likewise, if you purchase shipping by mistake and you're going to pick it up at the event, we will refund you for the shipping cost. So, but we will call you if you did indicate you wanted to ship. There's not many folks that wanted that. They all said pick up in store. So if you pick up in store, you'll get them registration. If you did ask to ship, we will contact you, confirm that you want it shipped. And then if that's the case, we will ship it to you as soon as we get the shirts. Hope that makes sense. And likewise, if you order a poster, we can ship that as well if you don't want to pick it up. But because of the way the website works, we're concerned that people they paid for shipping and they plan to pick it up in the store, and we don't want you to pay for shipping if you don't need it. So hope that makes sense. We'll work it out. Any other questions? Let's see. We got another comment here. Aha. So Caroline Henbest said, thank you so much for organizing this ride. Our all-women group is looking forward to it and will welcome any singles to join us. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. And that's what I've found in the past. We've had, if you show up, you're going to end up riding with a group of people and you'll become great friends. And thank you, Caroline, for extending that offer. Can you tell us does the group have a name, Caroline, that we can let people know about and they can maybe get a hold of you ahead of time? Let me know in the chat if there's a specific group you want people to know about. That'd be great. But we do have a lot of groups and people riding together, but we do have people riding alone also. And we have people coming from all over. I meant to look before the event, but it's always amazing to me. This is not a Kansas or local event. We have people coming from other states. And in previous years, we've had people from Arizona, from California, from Minnesota, all kinds of places. So you'll meet a lot of different people from a lot of different places. All right. Man, you guys are quiet. I was hoping to get more questions, but I also don't want to keep you too long. So I'll give you one more minute to answer or to ask any other questions. I will remind you too, packing list, like what should you bring? I did a video a few years ago on kind of my packing plan, but there are 1,000 YouTube videos on what to bring on a bike packing trip. So, do a little research on that, learn what is going to, what you think you'll need. Everyone's a little bit different, and maybe, use it as a chance to learn about bike packing and what you need to bring. I would just say as little as possible, but do bring lights. Don't forget lights. We will, in that midnight ride, you're going to want to have lights, and feel free to put a lot of lights on your bike. We want as many lights as possible. So Carolyn said the group is called Riff Raff. That's a cool name for a group. So yeah, look, if you're a female rider and you're on your own, when you get here, ask for Riff Raff. We'll try to identify them and get you hooked up with them so you have somebody to ride with. And they'll have a sign for Riff Raff to have women join. That is so fantastic. I want to learn more about your group, Caroline. So let me know about it. Give me a call or talk to me at the event. I would really want to hear more about your group. You know what? I totally forgot a very important thing. And thank you to this Leanne Carroll, very nice lady. Thank you, Leanne. Bands. So every year we have incredible bands, and this year is no exception. So yeah, I'll end this call, or at least give you a chance to ask any other questions. But I'll end this call with the bands. So if you are doing the campfire event, again, limited to 50 people, you're going to see Sally and the Hertz, and they come back year after year. They are fantastic. So they're going to open up on Friday night, Sally and the Hertz at Base Camp Flint Hills, along with Haymakers. And the Haymakers, first time they've been here, super excited about that. They are going to be fantastic. So that's Friday night. So if you're part of that select group of 50 people, you are going to be in for a treat. Those two bands are fantastic. On Saturday, so for the main event, we're going to be starting off with a group called Sons of Timaeus, and it's a duet of Trent Gaddy and Jordan Butler. And these guys are fantastic songwriters, and they're both really good players and unbelievable voices. They do great harmonies together, and it's going to be fantastic. I met them or came across them and have had a great time talking to them about the event. They're super excited to come out. And then second act on Saturday night is going to be Unfit Wives. They played with us 2 years ago, and they tore it up, and they are so fantastic. I love Unfit Wives. They're going to be, we're so honored to have them back. And then wrapping up the night is a group called Front Porch, and they're coming all the way from Arkansas. They are a high-energy bluegrass band that is making a lot of waves. They're traveling around. People are really getting excited about them. and they play at the Walnut Valley Festival. And so they're going to be wrapping up the evening, and their first time here. So yeah, the music's going to be fantastic as always. You're going to love it. And there is a link on our website, and I'll just double check that it's easily findable on the Moonrise Bike Ride page. But I've outlined all the bands, and I've got videos of all of them. So if you want to check them out ahead of time, they will all have swag tables as well. So you can buy their CDs and swag from them. And every year, we really appreciate you supporting them. For them, we pay them, and we give them a free dinner. They love that. But they make a big effort to get there. It's a bit of a drive for all of these bands, and they put a lot of effort into getting set up all day and everything else. So we really appreciate it if you can take care of them and get their, if you like what you hear, buy their CDs, buy their swag. All right. Looks like you're all running out of questions. Of course, if you have any other questions, get a hold of us. We don't want you to be concerned or have an unanswered question or worry about anything. Get a hold of us. We will help you. One other thing, if you do have, if for whatever reason you need to cancel, we do have a no cancellation policy just because it's too difficult for us to manage. However, if you get on the Facebook page, our Facebook group, ottawabikeandtrail.com, or I'm sorry, Facebook group, Ottawa Bike and Trail Club on Facebook. Join that group, and that's a good way to kind of last minute, if let's say you need a ride to the event, or you need a ride somewhere, or you need something, that's the best way to get a hold of a large group of people that are participating, and they can help you hopefully. And we have seen a lot of good things. Or if somebody just has something come up and they need a trade, or they want to have a ticket they want to give away or sell to someone else or whatever, get on that club. You can post there. You can ask questions. You can answer questions. That's a great way to tap into the group. All right. Any other questions? Leanne, did I miss anything? No, she's the best organizer ever. So thank you, Leanne, for helping me get all this organized. I appreciate it, as well as my crew. We have a really great crew. We are a small crew, but we work really hard, and we got a lot of volunteers that help. So it's a big undertaking, but we're all so happy to do it, and we are so pleased that you are going to come and join us. So if you do have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you in a couple weeks. We can't wait. So that's a wrap. We'll talk to you all soon. Thank you for joining. I'll end the stream now. Bye.